Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Yeah. They told you what to think, not how to think. Time to wake up. DeProgrammed. Yeah. Static in my head, yeah, they feed it through the screen. Every headline scripted, every angle too clean. They sell fear, sell lies, dress it up as truth. But I see through the smoke, yeah, I'm back to the root. They don't want faith, they want blind compliance. Hand for conviction, silence defiance. But I got fire, ain't hiding that light. Truth in my chest, yeah, I came to fight. They twist what's real, redefine right. Call wrong, progress keep dimming the light. But I read between lines, I don't follow the wave. I was lost, now I'm found, yeah, I broke from the cave. I won't bow, I won't bend. Truth don't change with the trend. Through the noise, through the lies, I can finally see with open eyes. Break the signal, cut the lies. Hear the truth, it never dies. Turn it up, let it roar. We ain't playing this game no more. DeProgrammed, yeah, we rise. Faith and fire in our eyes. Stand tall, unashamed, we were lost, but now we're deprogrammed. Try to rewrite the code, turn belief into a joke, make conviction feel old. But I stand on the word, yeah, solid, unshaken. Every lie they built up, yeah, it's all gonna break it. I see culture shift quick like sand in a tide. But truth don't drift, it don't run, it don't hide. They can mock, they can shout, try to bury the name. But the light breaks through, yeah, bursts through the shame. This ain't rage, this is purpose and aim. We bring heat, but we ain't get the flame. Not programmed, not bought, not sold. We speak life, we don't fold. Yeah, it's more than a podcast. It's a wake-up call. Faith over fear. Truth over all. You don't gotta stay asleep. You don't gotta play along. Break the chains. Find your voice. This where you belong. It never dies. Turn it up, let it roar. We ain't playing this game no more. DeProgrammed, yeah, we rise. Faith and fire in our eyes. Stand tall, unashamed, we were lost, but now we're deprogrammed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DeProgrammed. I am your host, Joshua Cummins. You're listening to DeProgrammed podcast with Revolver Broadcasting on EA Truth Radio, brought to you by EternalAffairsMedia.com. If you haven't already visited the website, EternalAffairsMedia.com, well, you should probably do so and check it out. All kinds of things going on over there, including this program. Look at that. Pretty fancy, huh? So guys, get over there and check it out. You also might want to check out revolverbroadcasting.com, and all the programming that I have over there, because I have my own network as well. So check out both things. We'd love to see you. engage with both networks. Both are doing things to help the culture be changed back to God and those family values that this country used to value. Yes, yes, yes. Well, we're gonna be talking about a lot of things tonight. A lot of things, or not tonight, but this afternoon rather. I guess. Well, if you're watching on recording, it might be tonight. But what do we got to talk about today? Well, we're going to be talking about GOP senators wanting to exit Iran, trying to find a strategy for that, pushing for that. You're going to be talking about Trump signaling, leveraging a beloved deep state spy tool for the Save America Act. We're going to be talking about Justice Thomas and Justice Alito have no plans to step down. Going to be talking about Eric Swalwell blew $75,000 from a defunct congressional campaign on booze, hotels, and more. Filings show that. And we're going to be talking about Representative Bobart planning motion to expel Ilhan Omar from Congress over alleged incestuous marriage that she said, that one's mine. I have dibs. And finally, we'll be talking about UAPs again, or UFOs. It looks like it keeps coming up in the news as predicted, as I talked about so many times over on Revolver Broadcasting and over here on the last episode. I'm warning you, it's their last card. They're going to try to convince you that aliens are real. I think even President Trump is falling for this false narrative. So be careful. Use your discernment. Understand that aliens are not real. That these interdimensional beings are in fact demons. And if you want to call me crazy, you can call me crazy. You're more than welcome to. But you'll see the truth one of these days will come down, and you'll understand why I said this so often. Yes. All right. Well, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button, depending upon the platform you're viewing or listening on. We really need you guys to do that. It helps us out so much. You want to make sure that you're commenting. Continue to comment. The more you comment, the more people can be deprogrammed, the more people can be broken free from the programming. And also, make sure that you guys are sharing this content, because sharing is, in fact, as we say every time, caring. All right, well, let's get headed over to the news desk, and let's see what exactly is going on out there as we talked about here at the top of the program. And first up, we have GOP senators want an Iran exit strategy. As gas prices continue to hover around $4 a gallon, because they've been pretty close, depending upon your location, $4 a gallon. We're $3.80 something here in Indiana, depending upon north or south. Somewhere in that range, so pretty close to $4 a gallon. Republican senators are hoping the war in Iran ends soon before it costs the GOP the upper chamber in the 2026 midterm elections. They're running scared, folks, that they're going to lose their seats. It's not about how much they can help the American people. Now, I really want to support as many GOP members as I can, but when they say things and state things like, we want to get these gas prices down so we don't lose our seats, instead of we want to get these gas prices down because the citizens are hurting, that makes me angry, and I don't know what to do with that except to pray to God himself, to say, hey, this frustrates me to no end. Please smack them around a little bit, humble them so that they realize that it's the people that are hurting. Don't worry about your place in power. Think about the people. But we do have one guy that makes a lot of sense, and that's Senator Josh Hawley. He says, I hope that we are arriving at an exit strategy here to bring this to a close, to preserve our security interests, and bring down the cost of gasoline. He told this to reporters this week. Josh Hawley is a representative from Montana. Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska told Politico that she and a group of senators are working on drafting an authorization for the use of military force against Iran, which would lay out when and how Trump could use force. Murkowski said the end of April would be a deadline for hammering out the text of the draft. Politico reported. I think we're going to be out of Iran by the end of this month, though. I really do. We're finishing up because they already opened up the strait once, said they weren't going to close it down again, and they immediately closed it, of course. And so it looks like military force will have to be used one last time, and that should be that because these folks, all they got left to throw is rocks. So let's just finish it up, right? But other Republicans warn that they will want to know about the Trump administration's strategy for the war if billions in additional funding are requested. John Thune said, I think our members are going to be very interested in what the next steps are. That's our Senate Majority Leader. And he told that to Politico. Thune said, the war, which has caused fertilizer prices to spike, has had a big impact on his constituents in South Dakota. That's what we want to hear. Somebody who's looking out for the constituents. Now, my seat's in trouble. Okay. So what if your seat's in trouble? Are you doing something for the people? Then maybe your seat may not be so much in trouble if you're out there telling people, hey, this is what we're doing. We want to do this for the people. Anyhow, he says we're in planting season, so if you don't buy fertilizer ahead of time, you're really feeling it. And obviously, fuel is a critically important part of production and agriculture, Thune said. It's also important for our delivery services, for our trucking services. Everything moves on fuel. All of your goods go up when fuel goes up because it costs more to get it from point A to point B. It's simple economics. If it costs more to drive the trucks to get the goods to the places that they need to go, the goods will go up because everything else costs more. All the costs to get it there go up, so do the goods, and ends up hurting your pockets. So that's what we need to be telling them. Hey, work this out. Work this out. You tell these folks, stop gouging the prices of gas. We've unleashed American energy. There's no reason for these gas prices to be up to begin with. They keep blaming Iran. They said, oh, it's Iran. It's all on Iran. It's not. No, these gas prices are indicative of what they've decided the prices will be because they're taking advantage of you. You think they're not taking advantage of you? Take a look again. Follow the money. Come on, folks. Follow the money. You know that oil, if you pay attention to it, the gas that you're pumping into your car has been refined for a minimum of 2 years before it's brought to you. That's how far out we are. Those gas prices are because they want an excuse. They want an excuse. There needs to be, what the Senate needs to focus on is telling them, stop gouging our citizens. Stop gouging our trucking industry. Stop gouging all of our industries, because when the trucking industry gets hit, all of our industries get hit. Bring the fuel prices down. You know what you're doing. But Senator Tom Tillis warned the war could be a drag on the party in the midterm elections. Tillis is not running for re-election, so he's just speaking out his mind. And he said the president has to help us get the vote out. Trump's been out there doing it. He's been doing some rallies and stuff, so he's been out there trying to encourage the vote. Here in the state of Indiana, we got May 5th coming up. That's our why is my brain just going haywire today? It's yeah. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyhow, Tillis continue. He says, but the base alone is not going to be able to do it. Tillis added, the way we're going to get the other ones is addressing the energy challenges, particularly the price at the pump and some of the other affordability issues. Yeah, I know. I make deliveries. One of my other jobs is making deliveries, and every time I go fill up to go back out there on the road, that's an expense it's hurting my pocket big time. And I'm out there driving a fuel efficient car, and it's still way more expensive than it should be. From empty to full, it should be about $20. But I have to pay $20 to $25 for a quarter of a tank. So that's frustrating in and of itself. Other Republican senators were bullish about the announcement of the Strait of Hormuz reopening, hoping gas prices would be lower by this time voters start paying close attention to the midterms. They said Bernie Moreno from Ohio said, will Dems be making comments about the massive drop in oil prices? One can only hope that they would acknowledge it. And one could only hope that these gas companies would stop gouging you, the citizens. Me included. I'm just like you. Trust me. We also have this next up here. We have Trump has signaling leveraging beloved deep state spy tool for the Save America Act. President Trump suggested Friday he would leverage the future of a prized spy tool of the U.S. national security apparatus to pass a stalled Republican-backed voter identification bill through Congress. Speaking with reporters on Air Force One, Trump was asked about an effort by Republican Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna to leverage talks over the expiration of Section 702 in the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the FISA Act. We've heard a lot about that one since 2015, haven't we? This is to force passage of the Save America Act. Luna first hinted at the idea in a Monday interview with The Hill. On FISA, Mr. President, Anna Paulina Luna is pushing to have the Save America Act linked to FISA in the FISA renewal. Are you in favor? The Daily Caller reporter Reagan Reese asked the president. He said, I think she's great, and I'd love to see that. The president responded, the Save America Act is so important. It's so good. It's voter ID. It's basics about a democracy, voter ID, birthplace. The president also said that provisions regarding transgender mutilization of minors and men and women's sports, among other items, were highlighted in the bill. So it sounds like we're getting earmarks, just like any other bill. There's a lot of earmarks being added into this one. Now, I approve of these specific earmarks, but I think bills should be on individual topics. I think if you have a bill like the Save America Act, it should be about voter ID and voter ID alone. And then you can tackle the transgender stuff, and you can tackle the other stuff. There needs to be a vote on each individual bill. I believe they call it a bill with pork, and it's just adding too much to each bill. I think the big beautiful bill should have been the last one that we had to do, and then each and every one of these subsequent bills should be single issue bills. We also have no mail-in ballots other than the military, etc. If you're sick, if you're away, if you're disabled, any of those things. It's pretty generous, actually, Trump said. But there is tremendous cheating that goes on with the mail-in ballots. So we would have no mail-in ballots except for those various exceptions. It'd be good to change that for sure. The SAVE Act, I really highly approve of. Trump's comments come after the Senate passed a short-term extension of the FISA Section 702, allowing provision to run until April 30th, while giving legislators more time to work out a deal. Talks are being held up by Republican hardliners seeking guardrails for the section, including warrants and preventing data brokers from selling information to the government. Despite being targeted with the tool in his first presidential campaign under now debunked dossier, the president signaled support Wednesday for a clean extension of the provision. He also suggested he would willingly surrender his rights for the provision to continue. He said, "I am willing to risk the giving up of my rights and privileges as a citizen for our great military and our country. Our military patriots desperately need FISA 702, and it is one of the reasons we have had such tremendous success on the battlefield," Trump wrote on Truth Social at the time. What do you think? Would you like to see the SAVE Act passed? I would. There's it's definitely a concession to have the FISA Act continue, but I wish we could get rid of some of those earmarks. Like I said, I think bills should be single issue. I don't think bills should be filled with earmarks. I like I said, I approve of the earmarks that are in it, but I think they should be their own individual bills. I think Congress and the Senate, they get a little overzealous in what they present, and then they end up fighting over the things that don't actually matter to the main bill, because so but this part's for the kids, this part's not for the kids, this part, no, just single issue, so that people know exactly what you're voting for. So when they open up their newspaper or turn on DeProgrammed, they're going to go and find out, like, they're voting on this issue. This is what we're talking about. Earmarks in a bill, honestly, they drive me crazy. I think bills should be single issue. I digress. Eric Swalwell found himself in the news again. Let me see if I can get that. Oh yeah, there he is. Eric Swalwell found himself in the news again, and he was found out to spend $75,000 from defunct congressional campaign on booze, hotels, and more, filing show. So not only has he got the sexual allegations going on, guys, which has been proven that he definitely did it. The videos are out there. It's quite disturbing how he seems to manhandle this woman in a hotel room while he was married. That shows you how these elitists in Congress and the Senate feel about the average person. They got so much power, they're so emboldened. And I'm not just talking about the Democrats, there are Republicans that do it too. This corruption's got to go. It's got to go. But it says here in an article from the New York Post, who uncovered this, disgraced former U.S. Representative Eric Swalwell burned through more than $75,000 from his congressional campaign during his first quarter of 2026, despite ditching the race 5 months ago. He splurged on hotels, meals, booze, and even babysitters. Newly released FEC filing show. Swalwell didn't give an answer when the Post called to ask why he continued spending money from his defunct congressional campaign. Of course, he's not going to answer for rules for thee, not for me. Come on, guys. He said, "That's a good question," he said before hanging up. "All allegations are untrue and fabricated. He gave an apparently boilerplate response when responding later to a follow-up question. When asked again about his campaign's FEC filings, Swalwell replied, "Why would you effing care?" Because people gave money. That's why we care. That's people's money. That's not your money, dude. Plain and simple. The Sex Pest has announced on November 21st, 2025, he was abandoning his re-election bid for California's 14th Congressional District, representing the San Francisco suburbs, embarking instead on a run for the Democratic Party's nomination for governor in California. But that went belly up because he was found to be sleeping with prostitutes, and possibly much, much more, allegedly. Under campaign finance laws, here it says, the money raised prior to an abandoned bid can only be spent on limited uses, such as winding down office expenses, contributing to other candidates, and donating to charity. Booze and cocaine, and cocaine is one I'm just kind of wedging in there, so that's alleged. But booze and hotels, those are not charities. You're not the charity, Eric. I know you like to think you are, but you're not. It says, but during the first 3 months of 2026, Swalwell spent $4,948 on hotels near home, including the Stanford Hotel in San Francisco and the private members club, the Battery, in the city. Both in February, he expensed another $5,963 on food and beverages, including $429 at Washington, D.C. microbrewery Blue Jacket, $330 at Buffalo Bill's Bar in Hayward, California, $310 at the famed Minetta Tavern in Greenwich Village, and $44 at Harry's Reserve, a D.C. liquor store. So he's just boozing it up and pounding them burgers, it sounds like. He dishes out another $2,839 on Uber Eats, the FEC records show. Swalwell also blew an astounding $10,298 on Uber and Lyft rides over the course of 3 months, an average of more than $110 a day. So he's using it to just get back and forth instead of, I don't know, driving his own car, or maybe getting a driver that would have cost a lot less overall. Other travel expenses included airfare, which totaled $6,242 for the quarter. Meanwhile, the embattled lefty politician paid $5,091 for childcare to his live-in Brazilian nanny, Amanda Barbosa. He and wife Brittany Swalwell are under investigation by the Department of Homeland Security for allegations they employed Barbosa without valid work authorization for 2 years. Uh-oh. Maybe Barbosa is illegal? I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe. Swalwell has since left the gubernatorial race in disgrace, and his House seat, too, in the wake of the bombshell sexual assault allegations. Little more than allegations, as we have the video. It's out there. He tried to apologize, but too little, too late. Too little, too late. It'd be nice to see him go bye-bye. No more on the news. Anyhow, let's move over to the next article. We've got Justices Thomas and Alito have no plans to step down, according to Newsmax. It says here that Justice Clarence Thomas is age 77 and Samuel Alito, age 76, the oldest members of the Supreme Court and two of its most conservative, are not planning to step down once the court's current term ends in late June or early July. CBS News reported Friday that sources close to Thomas said he does not plan to step down. Fox News Digital also reported Friday that a source close to Alito said that he is not stepping down this term and is in the process of hiring the rest of his clerks for the next term. Two other sources told Fox News that Alito is not retiring this term. Although justices tend to hire their clerks 2 to 3 years in advance, that is not necessarily indicative of a justice's retirement plans. The news came as speculation swirled that Alito might soon step down, although he has not publicly signaled his intentions to do so. In March, he was hospitalized after falling ill during a Federalist Social Society dinner in Philadelphia held in his honor. He had been scheduled to deliver the keynote address, but did not speak. A Supreme Court spokesperson said that out of an abundance of caution, Alito agreed with his security detail's recommendation to seek medical evaluation before driving home to Virginia. He was treated for dehydration and given fluids at the hospital before returning home later that night. So it sounds like everything turned out just fine. The spokesperson added that Alito was later examined by his personal physician and returned to work the following Monday for oral arguments. So Senate Majority Leader John Thune told the Washington Examiner on Tuesday that Republicans are prepared for the possibility of retirement on the high court. That's a contingency. I think around here you always have to be prepared for. And if it were to happen, then yes, we would be prepared to confirm. Thune said, referring to any candidate that would be put forth. So hopefully, if these fellows step down, which it doesn't sound like they are going to anytime soon, we'll have some good replacements for them. I know that Justice Thomas has been our biggest ally in the conservative movement for a very long time, and I'd hate to see him go. He's by far and away my favorite justice. Just love the way the guy speaks, the way he carries himself. I hope someday to get to meet him. I'd hate to never get the chance to get to do so. Let's move on here. We got Representative Bobart planning a motion to expel Ilhan Omar from Congress over alleged incestuous marriage. She said, that one's mine. I have dibs. Now, if you guys haven't heard about this, Ilhan Omar allegedly married her brother in a Christian ceremony so as to avoid any intervention, which is very interesting because being who she is, she's openly Muslim, then does this Christian ceremony to marry her brother so that he could be legal. The marriage certificate obtained by Louder with Crowder host Steven Crowder shows proof that this likely took place. Representative Lauren Boebert, a Republican from Colorado, knows that Minnesota Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar must go. Indeed, between the gargantuan Somali fraud scandal and the recent rape accusations against now former Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell of California, the GOP has a golden opportunity to keep Democrats on the defensive and to forever associate Omar's name with fraud. You guys have seen what's going on in Minnesota. You think that she's not part of that? I guarantee you, just like her wine business that doesn't exist yet has made so much money. It's called laundering, folks. Laundering. Makes the money look legit when we know that it's not. In a clip posted Wednesday to social media platform X, the platform on X, Bobart told conservative podcaster Benny Johnson, that one's mine. Yes, I have dibs on the Ilhan Omar expulsion. Let's get her out of here. She gone. Bye-bye. See ya. Of course, expelling Omar from Congress would require proving that she committed immigration fraud by marrying her brother in 2009. All I got to do is go back and talk to Steven Crowder. I believe he's got the marriage certificate. He's got all the evidence they need is it's in the paperwork, guys. It's in the paperwork. Don't let it get lost in the shuffle. Don't let her get away with this. But late last month, Vice President J.D. Vance, tapped by President Donald Trump to head a new Fraud Task Force told Johnson that he and White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller have already discussed what to do about Omar and who they believe definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. He says that Stephen Miller has the files. An animated Johnson said of Vance on his podcast, the Benny Show. Then Johnson turned to Bobart. What should happen to your bestie, Ilhan Omar, in Congress? The podcaster asked. First, the Colorado lawmaker proved that she has a sense of humor when it comes to the Trump administration. Well, anytime I hear the administration has files, I kind of clutch my pearls, she said. Like, wait, what do you mean? Is it in a binder? I don't know. Whose desk is it on? Good thing we don't have to worry about Bondi anymore. Of course, those quips refer to Pam Bondi and her disastrous handling of the Epstein files, the so-called Jeffrey Epstein binders that were filled with all this information that had a big nothing burger in them. It was information that we all already had, that we had obtained because we do our research around here. And so when we opened up to find nothing, we're like, we know this stuff. We need concrete evidence. This is, but from there, however, Bobart took the question seriously. She said, a censor isn't enough, Bobart said moments later. She needs to be expelled from Congress. Then Bobart demanded that if the administration has the files, show us. Needless to say, any attempt to expel Omar from Congress would require ironclad evidence of her alleged crime. Should the administration produce said evidence, Bobart pledged to take the lead on expulsion. She said, I would love to go ahead and say that one's mine, she said. Yes, I have dibs on the Ilhan Omar expulsion. Republican voters, of course, would love to believe that our elected officials take Omar's alleged immigration fraud seriously. Those of us with sober minds and clear memories, however, can do little more than keep our fingers crossed. After all, the Trump administration has not exactly shown vigor in prosecuting Democrats accused of crimes, including treason. Furthermore, it was Democrat women, not GOP investigators, who exposed Swalwell's allegedly predatory sexual behavior, which that is true. I have to give them that. In short, we want to believe that elected Republicans will take action against Omar, but the responsibility for making us believe it rests with them. Let's hope. Let's hope things change. I really, like I said, all they got to do is call up Steven Crowder. He's got the paperwork, guys. He showed it many times on his show that they have the marriage certificate between Ilhan and her brother. That's all the proof you'll need is the paperwork. I don't know why people waste their time trying to wonder how is alleged, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen. You know it happened. You know it happened. I don't know why it takes so much for people to just finally come down and say, okay, this is ironclad. The piece of paper is the marriage certificate is pretty ironclad, don't you think? Do you need anything else? And above and beyond that, why don't you add in everything going on in Minnesota, because you know she's connected to that. It's been shown that she's connected to all this learning centers or leering centers as Nick Fuente, Nick, oh my goodness. Nick Shirley pointed out there in Minnesota, and Nick Shirley's out. He's very active in California now, showing some more of that very same corruption. And I hope upon hope that they do expel Ilhan. It would be nice to start seeing people being removed from Congress because they not only do they not do their job, but they are so very, very corrupt. And I would love to see the corruption get weeded out. Draining the swamp, so to speak, right? Draining the swamp. And I know that We normally want to give you an hour or about an hour of show. We've barreled through these articles today. We do have one more. Yep. They're trying it again. They're going to try to make you believe that aliens are real. Oh, yep. Let's pull that cord again. Let's play that card. Hey guys, look, aliens. You've tried this before. Does anybody remember Florida just a few years ago, where all these police showed up in the middle of the night? Am I the only one that remembers this? It was a mall. It was a shopping mall, and all these police showed up. I mean, tons and tons of police, for blocks and blocks and blocks. All these police, and they said, "Oh, these creatures, they're wandering," and the lights went out, and all these big dark creatures were supposedly wandering around this mall in the middle of the night in Florida. Do you guys not remember that? If you don't, go back and look for it. I'm telling you. I know I'm not out of the realm of reality here. I know what happened. It's another Project Bluebeam venture that they were trying to tell you that they tried to tell you that aliens are something. They're wanting to mask the fact that we're in spiritual warfare. They're wanting to mask the fact that these so-called aliens are either a projection that they falsely put up, or when they do show themselves, they're not friendly, folks. They're deceivers. They call them demons. And like I said, you can call me crazy if you want, but you'll see. The truth will come out. But Trump says that, according to the New York Post, that first releases from the Pentagon UFO study will come out very, very soon. So they're going to try to get you on aliens again very soon. President Trump said that the first releases from a Pentagon study on UFOs or UAPs will come out very, very soon. Speaking at a rally at Dream City Church in North Phoenix on Friday night, hosted by Turning Point USA and Turning Action, Trump told the audience it seemed like the right crowd to hear about the study because Arizonans are really into that, quote. Well, of course they're really into that. That's there might be an area or two out there in Arizona. But it says here that the comments come as interest in unidentified aerial phenomenon or unidentified anonymous phenomena, or UAPs, continues to grow in Washington, with lawmakers pushing for greater transparency and the Department of Defense expanding efforts to investigate unexplained incidents. I figured this was a good crowd because I know you people. You're really into that. I don't know if I am, the president told them. He goes, he said he recently spoke with War Secretary Pete Hegseth about releasing the study's findings to the public before giving the crowd a brief tease of what he saw. We found many very interesting documents, I must say, and the first releases will begin very, very soon. So you can go out and see if that phenomenon is correct. You'll figure it out. Let me know. But we've had a lot of questions. If it's something that it really captivates the mind, there's no question about it. Trump said this in February. He would direct the release of government files relating to alien and extraterrestrial life and unidentified aerial phenomena or anonymous phenomena. The president said at the time there was tremendous interest in the topic following remarks of former President Barack Obama, whom Trump said shared classified information suggesting aliens are real. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon or anomalous phenomenon, and UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. Trump wrote on Truth Social, "God bless America." They're going to pull the card one last time, guys. Don't fall for it. Don't believe it. They are going to try and get you to believe it. They have been trying for years and years and years. And one of these times, I'm going to play, there's a video I'm going to play for you guys. It was a woman who worked in the government. And she went to a conference and told them all, aliens are the last card they're going to try to pull. That's their last ditch effort, because they know that the public is waking up at that point. When people get down to aliens are the only thing that we haven't turned the rock over on, that's the last thing they're going to try to deceive you with. They're going to try to convince you that aliens are real. They're going to try to convince you that they're not demons. The great deception is coming, guys. Don't fall for it. I want to encourage you to use your discernment. And use your discernment. And I'm going to tell you, like I always tell everyone on everything Revolver Broadcasting, I'm going to tell you to stay in trouble. Because if you have Christ in your hearts, you'll in fact be in trouble with the world. The world doesn't want you living under his grace. That's your salvation first and foremost. And I pray that each and every one of you has that. The world doesn't want you reading God's word. The world doesn't want you having a relationship with Jesus. And it doesn't want you praying to God. And it definitely doesn't want you going out and telling others about Jesus. But I want to encourage you to do all that anyway. Stay in trouble. And stay deprogrammed.
Yeah. They told you what to think, not how to think. Time to wake up. Deprogrammed. Yeah. Static in my head, yeah, they feed it through the screen. Every headline scripted, every angle too clean. They sell fear, sell lies, dress it up as truth. But I see through the smoke, yeah, I'm back to the root. They don't want faith, they want blind compliance. Cancel conviction, silence defiance. But I got fire, ain't hiding that light. Truth in my chest, yeah, I came to fight. They twist what's real, redefine right. Call wrong, progress keep dimming the light. But I read between lines, I don't follow the wave. I was lost, now I'm found, yeah, I broke from the cave. I won't bow, I won't bend. Truth don't change with the trend. Through the noise, through the lies, I can finally see with open eyes. Break the signal, cut the lies. Hear the truth, it never dies. Turn it up, let it roar. We ain't playing this game no more. DeProgrammed, yeah, we rise. Faith and fire in our eyes. Stand tall, unashamed, we were lost, but now we're deprogrammed. Try to rewrite the code, turn belief into a joke, make conviction feel old. But I stand on the word, yeah, solid, unshaken. Every lie they built up, yeah, it's all gonna break it. I see culture shift quick like sand in a tide. But truth don't drift, it don't run, it don't hide. They can mock, they can shout, try to bury the name. But the light breaks through, yeah, it burns through the shame. This ain't rage, this is purpose and aim. We bring heat, but we ain't get the flame. Not programmed, not bought, not sold. We speak life, we don't fold. Yeah, it's more than a podcast. It's a wake-up call. Faith over fear. Truth over all.
You don't gotta stay asleep. You don't gotta play along. Break the chains. Find your voice. This where you belong.
Break the signal, cut the lies. Hear the truth, it never dies. Turn it up, let it roar. We ain't playing this game no more. DeProgrammed, yeah we rise. Faith and fire in our eyes. Stand tall, unashamed we were lost, but now we're deprogrammed.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.